Hey everyone, let's run through how to post Instagram content from your desktop. Now, in its original form, you've only been able to post any kind of content via the Instagram app on your phone. However, in 2022, Instagram finally released the feature where you were able to post content from signing in on a laptop, desktop computer. A lot of people have been calling for this feature for a long time, particularly business owners and business using Instagram as a business marketing tool, just because they find that it's easier to do. So let's go through it. On the left-hand side here, you'll see a list of options. Towards the bottom, you'll see the button Create. Tap that. You'll be served with a pop-up window. So from here, you can select images from your computer. So go in, select the image that you want to use. Now you can see you've got a nice preview of how your image looks. Let's go through some of the options here to optimize your content. On the bottom left, on the two little arrows that are in a diagonal fashion, you'll see that you've got some options here for the aspect ratio. If you go original, this reverts the image back to its original form. So this is the size of my image as it is when I downloaded it, and this is how I can present it. But I have chosen here to use the traditional square ratio that Instagram is known for, because it really fills the screen and looks good. Taking a look at a couple of other options though, you can go for the 4:5 aspect ratio. This is a great one, and I actually recommend posting this more often, simply because it really fills up that scroll feed of anyone that's viewing your content. It takes up the whole phone, because the majority of users do view content on the phone. So that's a really good one there, but I don't like the white spacing on either side here, so I'm going to not use that one. And then just for reference, 16:9, so that's your horizontal content. That's what you would use there, but obviously it's chopping it off. So I'm going to go back to the square. Lovely, looks great. You can choose to zoom in. So for example, if I really wanted to get that text in the center, I could zoom in a little bit and then drag it down. Yeah, and then it really tightens it up and drives home the messaging that I have there. So that's an option too. I'm going to zoom out for now. It's kind of reworked itself. Now, if you wanted to change your post from a single image into a carousel image, you have the option to do that on the bottom right-hand corner here. You can see a couple of stacked square icons. Tap that. You can either delete your existing image or add another. So let's hit add another. And let's choose, I don't know, something like this. Now that you've chosen that second image, you can either click it like that, or you can see that this little arrow has now appeared. Tap that and my new content has appeared. Now, interestingly, I've chosen something here that doesn't work with the square aspect ratio, so I'm going to go for the horizontal one, and that looks really good there, obviously nice and fresh. However, it should be noted, and this is a good example, if I was to click back, now both pieces of content must have the same aspect ratio within the same carousel post. So it works great for that one, but terrible for that one. So just not going to work. So, you know, if you're going to be posting a carousel, which is up to 9 slides, they must all be in the same aspect ratio. But note that you can actually post both images and videos in a carousel, but they must be the same aspect ratio. So I actually don't want this second one anymore. So I'm going to go back to that menu, that little button down the bottom. I'm going to click cross. It's not letting me do it. Cross. Of course. Okay, there we go. Discard. See you later. Get out of here. And I'm going to go back to the original and how it looks there. Awesome. Okay, that's looking good. Let's go next. So here you can edit your image right within the platform. Initially, you're served up some of the traditional filters that Instagram was known for when it first launched as a platform, and they're just preset filters to play around with making your image look really good. These are great for people that don't really have much experience or aren't too confident in editing their images. So if that's you, just have a little click around with these and see if there's one that takes your fancy. Now, I will say if you are posting content consistently, use the same type of filter on your content, just so that your entire grid looks the same and you've got some brand identity going there. So, you know, for example, I click this one, so it gives a nice little glow. You see down the bottom here, you can choose the intensity of the filter. So if I drag that right back to 0, there's no filter. And you can see as I drag the filter up, it's getting stronger and stronger. So that provides a really good look. But I'm just going to hit original. I quite like it as it is. Now, if you're feeling a bit adventurous and you want to do some manual adjustments at the top here, filters, or you can click adjustments. From here, you can manually drag your brightness. Just make it fade out. So if I do a little bit, draws it down. Your contrast, again, higher, lower. Your saturation. So this is how much, essentially how the colors pop. Temperature, that's how warm, or cold you want the coloring, the base color of your image to be. The fade. Oh, see, there's a really good example of when some of these manual presets don't work. So that's the fade, and it's done something pretty weird with the words there. But on the other end, it's just kind of fading out. And then the vignette, which if you drag up, you'll see the corners of the image get darker. A moody shot. So yeah. Battery's about to run out. So from here, you know what? I'm not too sure I really want any of the presets. So rather than try and drag these perfectly back to 0, which takes a lot of time, you'll see as I hover over the different presets, you can just hit reset, which is very useful, very handy, time effective. Reset, reset. Let's go back to the original. Reset, reset. Great. Love it. That's how I want it to be. And finally, you get to the caption writing. So this is where you add essentially the words that go along with your image. Now, we'll have videos on that about how to make the most of your captions. I'm just going to copy and paste a caption that I wrote previously, and you can see that it is all in there with the emojis as well. So that's all looking pretty good. What's interesting too is if you go down to your hashtags, you can see if you start typing in a hashtag, the number of times it's been used has been posted in here. Again, we've got another video on that, on best practices for using hashtags. It's best to use a range of broad and niche ones. But for example, here you've got digital guide, which has been used over 5,000 times, whereas digital guidebooks has only been used 129 times. Also, it's worth noting that you can access emojis from here to throw a couple of in there as well. Add location. I always recommend adding a location into every Instagram post that you have. It just makes you more findable. Accessibility. This is alt text that describes your photo for people with visual impairments. Alt text will automatically be created for your photos, or you can choose to write your own. I love to write my own just because it's important, obviously, to make your image accessible. So for this one, it would be, I could put a flat lay of a desk with a laptop, glasses, and notebook. Copy reads 25 effective content ideas you must try. Okay. And finally, advanced settings. There's a couple here for you. The first one is hide likes and view counts on this post. So that's essentially nobody else can see how many likes or views your piece of content has received apart from you. You can actually change this later by going to the menu at the top of the post. So that's an option for you there if you just don't want to show that. And then you can also choose to turn off commenting. So if you don't want people commenting on your post for whatever reason, you can choose that as an option. And that's it. Hit share and your content is good to go live. Enjoy, you guys.